We have been seeing mass shooting after mass shooting after mass shooting make national headlines recently. And we have polling that suggests to us, hey, you know what? Americans really are hungry for some gun safety regulations. They want them. And there is a very interesting poll from Pew Research compiled by Vox. And we're going to put a Vox graphic up on the screen. And when you look nationally, yes, led by Democrats, but Republicans also, we see greater than 85% support for some mental health restrictions on who can own firearms. We see more than 80% support for background checks, what we would call universal background checks, meaning there is no situation where a gun is sold that would be exempt from a background check. We see about 78% of the country against open carry without a permit. There are some states where you can open carry with no permit. And even the less popular stuff like banning assault style weapons or banning high capacity magazines, even those provisions have close to 2/3 support, right around 65%. So very clearly, Republicans have seen the polling. Republicans are now understanding, hey, a lot of these things are popular with Americans. We as Republicans can't just be the party of saying do nothing, arm teachers and eliminate doors or whatever they've been talking about. So now Mitch McConnell and some other Republicans are saying, you know, we are OK. We're supportive of the framework that's been established for this Senate gun safety deal. So we're going to look at a clip, but I have to tell you, I am so skeptical of everything that's going on here on both sides, and I'll explain all of that in a moment. But here's Mitch McConnell yesterday making headlines. Wow, Republicans being reasonable. They support. Wait, do they support the bill or do they support the framework? Well, that's a key distinction. Take a listen to this.
Senator Cornyn, who, as you know, I asked to be the point person on our side to see if we could come to an outcome after these horrible school shootings. And his teammates indicated, as you have reported, coming together behind a framework which hopefully can be turned into legislative language and passed. For myself, I'm comfortable with the framework, and if the legislation ends up reflecting what the framework indicates, I'll be supportive.
Right. So a number of ifs in there, right? I'm supportive of the framework, which hopefully will get us to a bill. And if the legislation reflects what's in the framework, then it is hopefully something that we can support. Now, there's two sides to this. This is a great opportunity for Republicans to say this and then oppose it, either because, well, the legislation ended up being different than the framework, or we're disappointed in what Democrats ultimately put here. But there's another aspect to this, which is the bill itself is pretty damn crappy. Now, I don't want to just listen. I am okay with incremental change and taking steps in the right direction. And if this is all that can be passed, well, we've got to pass it. I'm going to tell you what's in this framework. But it is pretty damn weak. Very, very weak. There are a few different things here. So first of all, there are red flag provisions that are in the framework, meaning that you have a process that will allow you to do sort of some kind of for those individuals who are believed to have mental health conditions that should prevent them from having a firearm. This is a framework that would allow some of those to be established. There are 19 states and Washington, D.C. that already have some version of that. And that's something that would be in the bill. And listen, Republicans have been talking about this is a mental health issue. So that's something they're generally supportive of, although some Republicans are saying you're kind of eliminating due process. Instead of actually saying, well, you are now a felon and you can't have a firearm, which would be due process. Some Republicans are against these red flag laws, saying you're basically just saying some psychologist can sign off and then you don't get your constitutional right to a firearm. So that could be a problem. They want a more rigorous process for background checks, specifically on people between 18 and 21. Which would include an enhanced review where you contact state and local law enforcement. If you have criminal records, it could be disqualifying. There's a proposal about who should have to register as a firearms dealer for the purposes of conducting background checks. there's some squishiness to that where you can be a dealer. You and I would look at it and we would say this is a dealer, but they don't currently have to register as such and thus don't have to comply with background checks laws. There should be no question of that. Every sale should require a background check no matter where it happens. They also want new penalties on straw purchasing of firearms to improve the prosecution of traffickers. This is where someone who can legally get guns buys a bunch of them and then sells them to people who cannot legally get guns. Those are called straw purchases. And then they want money for mental health services as well. So there's nothing remotely controversial here in the framework. Any sane country would do all of these things and much more. But that's exactly the problem. Number one, the bill is so milquetoast that it doesn't do almost any of the things that I outlined in my framework for what should be done. And at the same time, Republicans still might not support it. So this is, yet again, it's a good chance maybe to show that Republicans will block even the weakest gun safety provisions. But at the same time, maybe Republicans will support it because it does so little. And then they can say, look, the Democrats put together a bill. We supported it and we still have gun violence, which of course we would have because this bill has absolutely no teeth. So I hate to say it. It all seems like it's a great setup for the Republican Party. Here's a bonus clip. Here's Mitch McConnell being asked why people who can't legally buy cigarettes should be able to buy semi-automatic weapons. Mitch McConnell supported raising the age at which you can buy tobacco from 18 to 21, and Mitch McConnell does not answer.
Why should Americans who are 18 years old not be allowed to buy cigarettes, which is something you supported, that ban, but should be allowed to buy assault style weapons?
Good try. I've already told you my view of
It's
the
not really a try. It's a good question.
framework. If it leads to a piece of legislation, I intend to support it. I think it's progress for the country. And I think the bipartisan group has done the best they can to get total support. And the background check enhancement for that age group, I think, is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's so weak. A background check enhancement just for those 18 to 21. So Mitch not falling for any trick questions like why should you be able to get an AR-15 but not cigarettes, which is really not a trick question. It's a good question. Let me know what you think is the fate of this bill. Find me on Twitter at @dpacman. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night improves sleep in many ways. Our sponsor, Chili Sleep, creates systems that cool down your bed, promoting deeper, higher quality sleep. It also just feels great. I use it at home. I'd recommend it to anyone, and I've recommended it to some friends who now use it as well. Chili Sleep's product, the Ooler, the Cube, and the Dock Pro, they're all water-based, temperature-controlled pads that fit onto your existing mattress. You can keep your bed as low as 55 degrees, as hot as 115 degrees. I like 60. Their new Dock Pro sleep system has double the cooling power of other models, 5 times the cooling contact, whisper quiet. You can control it with your phone. It's awesome. With Chili Sleep, there's no more feeling hot at night, no more sweating. Cooling your bed down like this is amazing. You really have to try it for yourself. When you go to chilisleep.com/Pacman, you'll get 30% off the Ooler and Cube sleep systems and 10% off the new Dock Pro. This offer is only for my audience. The link is down below.